Hello, gorgeous. My name is Jessica Angelari, and I'm a feminine embodiment mentor. And I wanted to speak today about this piece on embodiment. I'm seeing it pop up a lot lately. I'm feeling like it is a trend. And so I was feeling called to speak on it and really speak to the truth of it, because this is what my work is really all about. And as a feminine embodiment, erotic mentor, I love speaking about these themes and offering my embodied presence and looking at how we can meet with ourselves in this state of being beyond the stories, beyond the trends and the narratives that we may embody, and come into this place of being seated in who we are, in our female body, connected with our feminine intelligence, and really feeling through this direct felt experience of embodied aliveness through this. And so, embodiment, we often think that embodiment is just coming back to the body, or being in the body, or just doing a dance. It's not this. These are small pieces of this, yes. But if you think about it, we are always in the body, but that doesn't necessarily mean we are in embodiment. Embodiment is the fact of becoming aware or alive in the signals of your body. It's not just being in the body, it's becoming aware as the body. So, yes, this takes getting out of your own way. The ego loves to intervene here. And knowing how to listen to the signals of your body. Your body holds so much wisdom that we need to learn how to tune into this. So, as you can see, embodiment is not just doing a dance or a ritual, a goddess movement, goddess yoga. I am a samba dancer. I love dancing, so I'm not opposed to any of this. But it goes deeper than just doing these things. Of course, you can use movement and other healing modalities to help you develop this deep connection with your sacred feminine through the body to be in embodiment. And that's what all my work is really about. But this theme of embodiment goes deeper than that. And it's important. It is so important. It's so nourishing to our feminine highest essence. And your sensuality becomes this piece that helps you to be in embodiment, because this is where our feminine asks us, she will communicate with you to slow down. Your sensuality asks you to be present. And here is where you realize, okay, this is how my body is responding to whatever situation I'm in right now. And this is how I am choosing to present myself. This is embodiment. We can't be in this embodiment, in this state of being, when we're in this constant rush and constantly thinking and worrying and getting caught up in the stories in our mind. We're not in embodiment when we're speaking from the chest. This work is all about descending down into your lower energy centers. And in the same way, we can't be in the mind and have whole body orgasms, right? When we're in control, it just doesn't work. And what I have noticed is that a lot of women we're not living in embodiment. We're in our heads a lot. We're constantly feeding into these stories and fears, which holds us back from our highest potential. Or we may know we want to show up in a certain way in our relationships or in our business, but we may feel the fear, or we hold back. And we're not necessarily in embodiment and being true to those standards that we declare. And so because we're holding back, we're trying to stay afloat. We're trying to survive, and we're not living with an open heart. We might be living with so much guilt as well, which stops our radiance and receiving abilities, because perhaps we close up because we may think that I'm not worthy of this. And because we're closed up, our hearts are closed up, our wombs are closed, they're feeling cold, we feel drained and exhausted. And our life force energy has been sucked right out of us because we're just trying to survive. We're trying to be the best that we can, but we're not anchored into the body. We're not becoming aware of how we are responding to life within us and around us. And then, yes, we may feel burnt out or depleted. And if this resonates with you, you are not alone. I have definitely been there. That place of not being embodied and being in my mind all the time. But we can shift this. So then you can wake up feeling excited and have more energy for your day, and where you see beauty and synchronicities unfold around you, where you wake up knowing that life is here waiting for you, and that there are just so many endless possibilities awaiting. So this is about recognizing how you are showing up in your sensual nature, recognizing how am I speaking right now, and listening. How am I communicating with my body? How am I being true to my standards and my boundaries and my highest self? How am I holding myself to that highest essence of love? And this direct experience you have with whatever is alive in your body. This is the erotic, that feeling of life pulsating through you, and knowing that whatever you feel is fully accepted by you. Nothing is good or bad. This is embodiment, and this is how we know if we're really showing up and taking action and being true to our intentions or desires, or if we are in hiding. How I live in my daily life, how I magnetize the man of my dreams, how I move through challenging moments and triggers. They're always there, those triggers, no matter how much healing work you've done. How I've made the decision as well to move my whole life to be with this man and to move to Mexico. I did all through being in embodiment. Because this is the place where we know truth. This is where we hear our wisdom, our innate wisdom. And this is the place where we trust, where you hear your feminine wisdom and guidance. There's so much wisdom that you hold as a woman. And when you know this and you tune into this, this is when you stop doubting yourself, and when you stop feeling confused and scattered, and you attune to that sensual aliveness. This is the most beautiful, nourishing way to move through life and to make decisions. And sometimes we hear these little pieces of information through our body, where we hear that feminine wisdom. But the important step here after this, you hear that, yes, but we have to take aligned action. We have to listen and take action. This is how when you realize how deep this work really is as well. It's a lot more than just doing affirmations. This is really being in the allowance and in the being, and feeling into the way that you show up in life, and getting real about that as well. And the way you show, and knowing if the way you're showing up in life, is it any different to the way that you desire to feel? And this is a lifelong journey as well. And sometimes it can feel difficult because the fear and the doubts will show up, or they do show up. You might feel resistance to the shifts and changes that might need to take place. But what's important is to remember that these little pieces of information that come through your body are just information. So, and the information can come through your body as, if you're feeling resistance to the changes that might need to take place, is you might have a tight belly, or you might have tight shoulders, or tight neck, or lower back. They're the messages they're being spoken to you from your feminine wisdom. And they hold a lot of information and messages for you to tune into that might share where you might be denying nourishment for yourself, where you might be overgiving, and that's what's making you feel drained and exhausted or overwhelmed, which is really common amongst women if we're not really being fully embodied. And this is why the connection to your body is more important than we realize. Developing this loving connection with our womb, with our heart, with our body. Because when you do, you start to realize as well, where am I not being in service of my heart? Where am I trying to please everyone else? Or where am I continuing to move into this relationship and putting up with behaviors that don't serve my heart out of the fear? Or where am I not in complete power that you all have? We all have agency around this to choose how we want to feel. And a lot of the times, because we are so busy, we may not even notice these little signals, those signals that I mentioned, or we may even be running on adrenaline all the time, and we get used to this feeling in our day-to-day life. I was there for such a long time until I realized the importance of sensuality, and then slowing down and realizing in this space of my sensuality is really where I discover my truth here. This is where I need to stop pretending or bypassing or ignoring or not listening to myself, or stop distracting myself. Otherwise, these situations that feel out of alignment continue to repeat itself. But we can shift this by learning the art of embodiment. So the embodiment helps us to know, instead of getting rid of everything and ignoring it all, we can be a witness of what is coming up in our body, what's moving through us, where we might be feeling fear or shame. And then from there is where you choose to change, make a shift, or choose how you want to show up for that. Your body is your beautiful temple and the bridge between your higher self, between heaven and earth. She will house all of your truths, your emotions, your spirit. And I know we've all gone through difficult times, but can you give yourself space and time to process this through your body? Breathe into it. Breathe into it so you really meet with your divine feminine. Allow whatever needs to move through you, allow it to move through you. Maybe you need to give yourself a massage on your lower back. We hold a lot and store a lot of emotions in our body, especially around our pelvic floor. So moving these emotions with movement and touch or massage and breath, it's really helpful. Maybe you need to cry it out and allow those emotions to move through you. You might even find that you start to cry after you give yourself that massage. My partner does that to me sometimes. He'll give me a massage in certain parts of my body, like my lower back or my womb, and I will start crying. And this is just part of my release of moving everything that needs to be felt and moved by me, and and creating space for it to move, for it to be felt. And also, the invitation here is, when you feel it, not to make that story, not to make that part of your story or anything else. Instead, asking yourself, where can I soften right now? Where can I use my sensuality to soften into this dense feeling? Where can I maybe just be and allow this to move through me, and be a witness of how that sadness or that pain or even that anger is moving through me? This is where the embodiment comes into it. And of course, we can use movement and healing modalities to help us anchor into this and to help us transmute these emotions in healthy ways. But the thing we need to realize is that your embodiment is your ability to feel into and notice all these little messages of your body. Notice where you feel pain, notice where you feel frustrated, how that's being manifested through your body, and if that's an indication for you to attune to your body and offer yourself some love and compassion and nourishment without that feeling or emotion needing it to be about anything else. So through your awareness and slowness and presence, you shift something, and you feel into the part of you that you are ready to invite in, whether that is softness or gentleness or love or compassion or trust. So my invitation for you is, can you listen? Can you listen to the messages of your body that are presented to you from your highest self? And then offer yourself, what are you needing in that moment? And this is the thing that people don't often talk about with the feminine work, is that it is dark and it can be painful, and it's mysterious because there's so much moving through us. But when you learn to listen and trust and being there for your body, for your feminine, and when you embrace her and you allow, she blossoms more, you blossom more, and you begin to see yourself closer and closer and more connected and as one with the divine. You stop relying on the external to tell you how beautiful or worthy you are. You stop floating around, lost and confused with life, and you begin to anchor in. You let go, you learn to surrender, you invite in emotions and energy, and you just invite it in, you allow it to move and flow. And then also know what it is you require to continue to be nourished, to feel nourished. And then you also realize that healing doesn't have to feel hard all the time. And of course, you don't have to do this alone. This is why I offer the work that I do in my one-to-one containers or my beautiful group container, Feminine Remembrance. Come home to yourself, because we work on safety, to listen to the signals of your body, to notice what's present, to know how to move through everything with love and compassion and integrity as well, and to understand that embodiment is more than just a practice. Embodiment is coming into full connection with your feminine through your body, through your womb, through your pelvic floor, and discovering bit by bit more and more your wisdom and your biggest, grandest potential. your version of you. Thank you, sisters, for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. And do let me know in the comments what came up for you, what resonated with you, what felt right, what felt aligned for you. And yeah, I'll see you very soon. My name is Jessica Angelarian. So much love to you. Mwah.